Okay, Jetways at Warsaw. Here we are on stand 13. This is my 737-800, and I haven't connected the tug or done anything except remove the stairs from the default stairs from the PMDG aircraft. So there were issues with the Jetways moving but not connecting to the aircraft in version 1. We're now looking at version 1.0.0. As I told you in the title. Let's give the Jetway a test now, see if it works properly. So as you can see, movement is perfectly okay. The stairwell on the side, of course, still drags into the concrete like many others. Nothing special about that really, happens in a lot of sceneries. So there you see the Jetway has approached the aircraft, but the door hasn't opened and the cover hasn't come across the aircraft. Let's get a closer look. So there you can see the door hasn't opened at all and the cover hasn't gone across the aircraft. There you can see the cover hasn't extended to cover the aircraft and the door hasn't gone. The aircraft hasn't opened either, like it does on most Jetway connections. Let's try a different stand on a different terminal. Okay, so this time we've spawned the aircraft onto stand 22, and I've done this straight from the menu. I haven't slewed it. This is how the aircraft sits when you spawn it direct from the menu onto this stand. And as you can see, the Jetway is severely infringing the wing, so that would need to be sorted out. And we also have this issue there where the tug is going through the scenery, but this is probably an ASOBO issue, but I'm a little concerned that the markings there are really close to the scenery, so I don't quite know how this works. Anyway, let's check the Jetway, see if it works. Okay, so I think the thing to do is not to spawn your aircraft on stand 22, because this is what happens. So let's try one more. Let's go to a different stand. Let's change the aircraft to the Airbus A320neo and try that. Okay, so here we are now on stand number 4 on the northwest side of the terminal, and we're using the default ASOBO A320neo Airbus. I normally usually use the fly-by-wire when I fly the Airbus, but for the purposes of this test we're using default only. As you can see, the aircraft actually spawned out of position. If you look here, you can see the original nose gear marker lines, and the aircraft has spawned in the wrong place. Now, I don't know if this is a problem between ASOBO default scenery and fly too high scenery being incorrectly positioned. I don't really know what the answer to this is, but what we do know is, of course, the aircraft, this is spawned straight from the menu. I haven't used slew mode or any other option. Straight onto the stand, and it's incorrectly positioned. And also, of course, the tug's in the way. So first thing I'm going to do is put the tug onto the aircraft so the Jetway has free movement. So we select the tug, let's get it moved onto the aircraft, and as it moves out of the way there, look, you can see now the nose gear position as it should be, which is where this wheel should be. However, the difference isn't too big. The Jetway should be able to reach this and connect to the aircraft, but let's see if it actually works. Just wait for the jet tug to connect properly. There she is, correctly positioned. Right, now let's try the Jetway. So movement's good. There we go. Door opens. Now let's go and have a close look. Right, so this time the door's opened and the Jetway's correctly positioned, which is fine, but the hood, if indeed there is one, hasn't come across. So there you can see the doors opened on this occasion, and the hood. In fact, there isn't really a hood. There is kind of a hood here, but not in the proper sense of the word. It hasn't come across, but the jetway's connected. That looks okay. A quick look from the other side. That looks fine. Okay, so now I'm going to select the fly-by-wire Airbus A320neo and position it to another stand and see if we can get the same result. So here we are now on stand number 2, just 2 stands away from the stand we looked at before with the default ASOBO A320. So here we are with the fly-by-wire A320neo, my livery, parked on the stand, again spawned from the menu, not moved by slew mode or any other option, and as you can see again the aircraft is out of position, even though this time it's on the centre line, but it's out of position for the nose gear parking spot. However, once again let's connect the tug. Okay, interestingly enough, the tug doesn't move. Okay, it's interesting. Right, so let's try the jetway anyway. Right, jetway doesn't move. Okay, so we are going to come out of the menu and respawn again onto the same stand. So once again on stand number 2, spawn straight from the menu. And as you can see, spawned into the same place on the centre line but not in the correct marker. Okay, so let's try and connect the tug again. Okay, this time it works, so it must have just been a glitch. So we'll let the tug connect. It just gives the jetway freedom to move directly to the aircraft door without the tug in the way. So the tug is now connected. Let's see if we can get the jetway to work. There we go. And if you look carefully, the wheels don't turn on the jetway. It's moving, but the wheels don't turn. They drag across the ground. However, there we go. This occasion, the jetway connects to the aircraft and the door opens. So there you can see the connection is fine, but again, the hood doesn't come across. I don't know if that's an issue with the scenery or whether it was programmed that way. We'll see. So that seems to work. So we're going to select one more stand and we're going to go back to the PMDG 737-800 just to make sure and see whether it works with that aircraft. Okay, so here we are back in the 737-800 PMDG. This time we're on stand number 6, just a couple of stands further away. As you can see here, the aircraft loads with mobile stairs as default. So what we do is we change that to jetway, and there you go, you see the stairs move away. We'll wait till they go completely away. Once again, notice the aircraft has spawned onto the stand, this time again directly from the menu, but it's not spawned on the centre line or anywhere near the nose gear parking spot. Be interesting to see if the jetway not only works but whether it actually reaches the door. So there go the stairs. So once again, let's connect the tug to make sure there's nothing in the way. That's interesting. Tug isn't working. So let's try the jetway. That doesn't seem to work. Okay, let's just give this another go. Right, no, that doesn't seem to work. Okay, so I'm going to reload the aircraft again, same stand, and try it again. Okay, so here we are, spawned directly from the menu once again onto the same stand, number 6, with the same situation. Okay, so firstly again, let's try connecting the tug. Right, this time it works. So not really sure why I'm having these issues. I've never had them before up until now. But obviously if you're experiencing the same here where nothing seems to work, the idea is to reload the situation from the menu again, and it should be okay. So once again, this is spawned directly from the menu. I've not slewed the aircraft in any way, shape or form. It's the PMDG 737-800 in my airline's livery. We're on stand number 6 at Warsaw Chopin International Airport. Right, so the tug's connected. Now let's try the jetway. Again, notice the wheels don't turn. Wheels of the jetway don't turn at all. And that looks as though the jetway is connected to the aircraft, but again the door hasn't opened. Okay, so there's some issue here. I'm not sure why this is. Seems to be with the PMDG. Okay, just as a final test here, we've come away from the Warsaw scenery. We're now at Gatwick, and this is the freeware scenery, Ultra by MKVY. Again, we have the PMDG 737-800 in BAP Air livery. We're on stand 571. Let's first see if we can connect the tug. There she goes, and note that this was loaded straight away from the menu. I didn't have to reload a second time to get these things to work. So we'll let the tug finish parking up. This is the latest version of the Ultra Gatwick freeware scenery from MKVY. A really impressive piece of work. I use it all the time. At the moment it's probably one of the best scenery for Gatwick out there. So there's the tug is connected, so let's try the jetway and see what happens. Note that the wheels turn on this one and the jetway moves correctly. Lowering into position. Now that's interesting. I've actually not noticed that before. The jetway works completely. It moves into position and the cover goes across. But no, actually inside the door didn't open. And I got a feeling that may well be something in the menu, PMDG menu on the FMC that I actually have to select. Let's just go up close. So as you can see, the jetway has come properly up to the aircraft, all connected. So here, a quick shot inside the jetway. You can see the connection is pretty good. It hasn't gone through the skin of the aircraft pretty much at all, but the door is closed. So I'm going to have a quick look at the FMC menu to see if the door is operated from that menu. And indeed, as you can see there, you have to actually open the door from the menu. So let's have a look inside. And there you are. So the door is open. So the door issues that we've seen on the PMDG so far are not a problem with the ASOBO. They're not a problem with Fly Too High in their scenery. They have to be opened from the FMC. So that's something I've learned today. But as you can see, the jetway works perfectly well on the PMDG 737-800 here at Gatwick. So I don't really know what the problems are with the jetways at Warsaw Chopin. Let's disconnect her. There's always a slight delay there. Notice that it moves back perfectly okay and the wheels do turn as well. There's the doorway still open because I haven't closed it. The jetway moves back into position, the wheels turn. These really are the sort of jetways you want at your Chopin Airport if the developer can fix them. Okay, once again, stand number 6, same situation, loaded directly from the menu. Now we have a PMDG 737-800 in a default livery. So this time I'm just going to forget about the tug. Let's see if we can get the jetway to work. No, jetway isn't moving at all. Okay, let's reload the situation. So here we are back in the 737-800 default livery with the situation reloaded. As you can see, you just disconnected the air stairs and we've got jetway selected from the FMC. Let's try the jetway. Okay, so this time it's moving. Really not sure why this happens, having to reload this aircraft and scenery to get this to work. Let's see if the door opens. No, it doesn't. Okay, so there you go. We've conducted a number of tests. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure why this is. I'm not sure if there's a conflict between ASOBO's default terrain or whatever and fly too high scenery sitting on top of it. I've checked in the content menu. There is no separate EPWA airport to disable. So I don't know what the issue is there or why this is happening, but these are the issues I'm having. And just before we go, just getting away from jetways for a moment, as you can see in the scenery, it's been nicely done. But here's an example of some of the floating building issues that we have. As you can see, you've got a couple of buildings here way off the ground that needs to be sorted out too. So there you go. Hopefully Fly Too High will see this and maybe get a chance to correct these. So this is Lee, your virtual airline pilot. Thanks for watching, and hope we get it all sorted. Bye for now.